Hi guys, this is a update about binge eating disorder and how it's going. It's like almost my bedtime, so everything's crazy in the hair department again. I've been following the book I've been using, which is called Overcoming Binge Eating. I'm still on step 2, but I'm doing better on it. So I'm going to read step 3 um, tomorrow and um, kind of figure out what step 3 is all about and decide if I can actually move on to that step or not. But it's supposed to have tips on how to help you with step 2 and like how to alternatives to binge eating. So maybe it'll help with like when I'm feeling lonely or bored and I turn to eating. Maybe this will help. Um, so I've been doing this binge eating book for 23 days. 13 out of 23 days have been good change days. So these are days where I monitor what I'm eating. I'm eating on time, like at a set schedule, and I'm not having major binge eating moments. But today was not that day. And it's so weird because I woke up ready to go. I got so much stuff done, took my pill. I had a great, big, well rounded breakfast because I've realized my breakfasts, I had been restricting myself. That's why monitoring is actually really working for me because I looked back and I was like, I never eat carbs in the morning at all. And then by dinner time, all I want is carbs. And it's that narrative that carbs are bad, carbs are bad, carbs are bad. There's so many sugars, they're so full of calories. And yeah, you know what? Carbs can contribute to weight gain, but that's not what I'm worried about right now. So I need to make sure I have large enough meals to get me through to the next meal so I'm not snacking all day and to stop the cravings later on. So I started having, make sure I have a vegetable, make sure I have 2 things of protein and carbs on my plate in the morning. And that doesn't necessarily mean like, for me, it's fine to do it right when I wake up. But I was talking with my doctor and he's like, no, you just have to do it before lunch. So if you don't like breakfast, but you can eat at 10, that's fine. I've been following my snacks pretty good. There was one day I skipped it because I was getting a massage, but one day is not going to hurt. Then lunches I've made bigger and I've added carbs in. I try and make sure with every snack and every meal I'm having fruit or vegetables. I started ordering on Instacart to make sure that I'm not ordering too much of something or like an insane amount of groceries and to help me not order from Skip the Dishes. Instacart in my town's pretty cool because they'll go to like Costco for you and bring you your Costco within 2 hours. Like sometimes you have to wait an hour to get into Costco, so it's great. I love this app. Um, so yeah, I've been ordering my groceries. I cooked all my chef's plate meals and they were good. Like they all turned out fine. They're good. I'm just noticing like the healthy meals and the high protein meals is not what my body or not what my brain is craving, I guess. My body's probably craving it a lot, but not my brain. It's not satisfying that part. So to throw in something with every meal that I like is also helpful. Sometimes that's a glass of pop, sometimes it's a hot chocolate, some candies. That's been helpful. But then today had another great dinner, and half an hour after dinner, when I was still full, I ordered KFC. I don't even like KFC. It's literally something I ate as a child, didn't eat for probably 15 years, and now I'm like, oh my god, KFC. So I spent $30 that I shouldn't have on KFC, ordered it, ate till my stomach hurt, kept eating, and then was kicking myself for a while. And like when I was eating, I was like, you should stop. You're not really enjoying this. You're not liking this meal. You should stop. And again, just kept going. And now I'm frustrated with myself. So that sucked. But now it's about moving on. And I still have some of that KFC in the fridge because I did put it away. So I'm trying to decide it's something I can keep in the fridge or if I should throw it out. And I think my decision factor is going to be when I go sit in my living room, if I try and go get it out of the fridge, I'm going to just throw it in the garbage because I know it's a huge waste of food and I hate doing that. But if I eat any more tonight and I'm in the mood, then it's going to be a problem. Also a problem with my budget that I did that. So yeah, along with working with this book, I got my prescription pills picked up for the next 3 months, and they increased my dosage. I was on 20 milligrams, now I'm on 30 milligrams, which is just a tiny little up, but it's supposed to get me all the way to the end of the day, like till 10 p.m. instead of till 5, because after 30 days, your body adjusts to having it in its system. I tried to get my free counselor from my from my doctor, and I think I posted a video about he either called me and then we had technical issues and I couldn't hear him and then he hung up, or he never called me. And out of frustration, I have not called and tried to make an appointment, but I will. I then went and I emailed through my benefits all the potential therapists in my area that I could meet with and talk to, and I asked for their prices and I asked for what they specialize in. Here are the responses to this bullshit in my city. Excuse my language. The first one told me that eating disorders should always be in a facility, taken care of in a facility where they can monitor all your eating. To which I was like, there's no way that every person with an eating disorder has to go into a facility, because otherwise my city would have more than one facility. Underfunded, can't get into that facility. So I was like, no, and it's not impairing my life, and I'm not going to die due to this binge eating disorder. It is impairing my life, but it's not like I'm still a fully functional adult, and I can do things and accomplish goals and travel and everything, but I just want to get help. So I immediately was like, I'm not talking to this person anymore. Like, I don't know if they know what they're talking about. Didn't feel very confident in their skills there. And then most of the other people messaged me back, and the set rate where I live in Alberta for any kind of psychology or therapy or counseling is $200 an hour. And yes, you can get part of that covered on your benefits, but not all of it. So free healthcare in Canada for mental health that can prevent heart disease, diabetes, can prevent suicides, can prevent pill popping, overdoses is terrible. Like, we need to fully cover this. Not just for myself, but there's people that are in worse condition than me. Or when I've always heard about people who are depressed going on antidepressants and never being able to come off them, I'm like, why aren't they in therapy? Now I know, $200 per session and you're supposed to go once a week? That's insanity. And I know, like, yeah, but you should only be in them for like 10 sessions. It's $1,000. We're in the middle of COVID. Like, that money doesn't exist. So anyway, that's my rant about that. I had to turn a bunch of them down because I can't afford that. Also, in many cases, my eating disorder will not be covered because it's not severe enough. So I went back to BetterHelp, which is online, and it actually offers you a lot more options. So you get a one-on-one counselor with somebody, and you can send them journal updates every day. You can chat with them at any time. If they're working with somebody else, obviously they won't respond right away, but you can chat and like put your ideas out there and they'll respond as soon as they can. You can have video chats, phone chats, and texts. So yeah, they matched me up with somebody. I'm not sure if she's going to be 100% fit, but I'm going to give her a chance. And if you don't like your therapist, you can just switch, and it doesn't cost you any money at all. You just switch therapists, and I kind of like that because the last therapist I had was really diving in on areas I needed help with, but and this was on BetterHelp as well. She was one of the first ones I have tried to talk to about my eating problems. But she really dived in on other areas of my life and kind of refused to acknowledge that I was having an eating disorder. So now I have this new one, and I hope she's a little bit better, a little bit different. But it's also very different because the therapist you're going to get on BetterHelp is not from your area. And that's kind of why I hadn't gone back to it, and I wanted an Edmonton therapist, because trying to talk to somebody who's in America, and specifically like the last one I had was from Florida, and she's like, you should go outside for a walk and that'll just cheer you up. And I was like, it is -30 and snowing. You're crazy. Um, well, don't you have like a beautiful area that you like to go to and like walk around and stare at the view? And I was like, again, it's snowing. I'm not going outside to stare at the view, and I'm not going for a drive on icy roads. It's not gonna happen. Or you'd be stressed out about Canadian politics and they don't really pay attention to that. So that was getting frustrating. Not to mention the very different controls of COVID between the two countries. So I'm hoping that we can just focus on the food and the stress skills and not get too much into world politics and that part. But again, if I don't like her, I can just switch. So you get your therapy, you get the journal entries, you get the texting or messaging whenever you want. You also get group webinars. So tomorrow I'm going to take this group webinar thing on, it's called Eat Our Way to Mental Health, to Mental Wellness. And it's all about like our eating for our health and not for what society wants. So I'm kind of excited about that one. I think you just listen for like an hour. Again, though, I have to contend with American time zones versus my time zone, and I hope I got it right. And I'm still going to phone my doctor at some point and just tell him like I couldn't get into the counselor, I never got a call. I'd still need to see him. And there's so many reasons. I know it's probably not his fault, but there's a lot of reasons why I probably didn't get a phone call. But I'd like one from the free counselor so that I have somebody local who knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's just a long ass update about what's going on. And I will let you know more once I read chapter 3 and do this mental health wellness thing and how Better Life's going and everything else.